Bienvenidos a mi canal, Señor Blumeo. Today we have a really cool guest. It's Cesar from RockAlingua. Welcome.
Thank you for having me here.
Where are you from?
From Spain originally, but I've been living in San Francisco for 13 years already.
So tell us a little bit about you.
So I grew up in Madrid, and I was an English teacher there. I used to teach English to K-5 students over there. And I moved here to San Francisco 13 years ago to teach Spanish, also to K-5 students. And I started writing songs to teach Spanish to my students. And then I decided to create a program based on the songs that I was writing. So that's kind of like how all this started.
You recognize
Yeah,
this?
Gaudí, I love it. Yeah.
So I love Gaudí. I've been in Barcelona and Madrid, so I love Barcelona. All the songs in RockAlingua are original songs.
Yeah, they're all original songs that I use primarily to teach Spanish to my students when I was teaching at the school.
When did this start?
So the idea of, so before even having the idea of doing RockAlingua, I was already writing songs just for the students. And I saw that the students were learning really fast because of the songs and that they had a lot of fun. And I saw them like singing at the playground, and the parents would tell me like the kids were singing Spanish at home. I thought maybe it's a good idea if I can do something so other teachers can also use the songs and other supporting material. So about 7 years ago, that's when I really started thinking seriously about creating like a program for other teachers to use.
What is your favorite song that you have created in RockAlingua?
So they're all like my little babies, so it's hard for me to think about one song. One that I really like a lot is called Las Partes del Cuerpo, the parts of the body, because it's one of the first one I record. It's really fun for kids when they know the songs because they go like touching the parts of the body, and I really like the...
Las partes del cuerpo vamos a cantar y tú las tienes que tocar. El pelo, la cabeza, el cuello, la garganta, los hombros, los brazos.
I don't know, it's one of my favorites.
One of the songs that is stuck in their heads and I love is this one that goes, Buenos días, buenos días, buenas tardes. Is there any way sing that for us? I love it.
So esta canción se llama Buenos Días, and it goes like this.
And it's so awesome. Like my kids actually acted out and they love the part of Me quito la ropa.
Yeah, so it goes like this. Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas tardes, buenas noches,
Buenas noches, me voy a dormir.
Me voy
Voy
a
a dormir.
Buenos
días, buenos días.
buenas tardes, buenas noches, me voy a dormir.
dormir.
Me voy a dormir, me quito la ropa, me pongo el pijama, me cepillo los dientes, me voy a la cama, me quito la ropa, me pongo el pijama, me cepillo los dientes, me voy a la cama.
Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, me voy a dormir.
Starting next school year, actually doing the whole program for teachers that are teaching French, and that will be available probably next school year.
Spanish teachers that are watching now and then later French will be available. How can they use RockAlingua to enrich their learning?
So I think for teachers it's a really cool tool because we cover mostly like all the, so it's a program mostly for beginners, right? Like, so like, it's designed for, I would say like K-5, but it's also very useful, as you said, like middle schoolers,
Yes.
and also like even high school one for Spanish one. So it's a good program for beginners, right? And we cover all the units that teachers are gonna be like teaching throughout the year, like numbers, colors, parts of the body, I don't know, weather. And it's not like the old school, like, oh, this is like a list of vocabulary, just memorize this, blah, 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 blah. We make it really interactive and fun with the songs, the interactive games. Then we're also creating like short stories that goes with each unit. So pretty much, a teacher will have almost or everything they need for their Spanish classes throughout the year. And one of the best things for teachers is that with the subscription, all the students get access. So they can log in with a username and password for the students, and they can play games from the iPads or computers or Chromebooks. They can access also from home, from school. So it's really cool. It's like, I think it's a really good program for teachers.
Yes, it is. It's actually, like I said, I teach middle schoolers. So I have kids that are 7th graders and 8th graders, and that is actually Spanish 1 high school class. So they get high school credit when they are done with my class. And even the video games that your website has, some of my students get into it and they love playing it. Sometimes when they're working on something, I just like to project on the screen the games, and I just invite one student to just play so everybody can see, and they love doing that. What inspires you to come up with the topics and to create the stories and the drawings and the characters?
Yeah, so the songs at the very beginning were just like, okay, I have to teach numbers to my students, so let's just write like a song about numbers or about colors. Now we're moving a little bit into like trying to make songs a little more of like a story. So the latest songs are more like has like a storyline.
A story that evolves, right? That it keeps going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like honestly, like I don't know really what inspired me. I just get my guitar and start playing. I'm thinking about this. If I get like a couple of good sentences about something, I say, okay, maybe I can just write a song about this. We're working on a really cool song right now that is actually perfect for these crazy times we're living. Which is about like helping people or having like a good energy. Probably have that song ready in a couple of weeks actually. Right. So I just get my guitar and play.
Anyway, we can get a sneak peek of that song you're working on.
Let me see. This is the song lyrics and drawings that we're doing. So basically it's just like cuando pones buena energía todo alrededor brilla.
Cántanos la melodía.
Okay, you got me there. Okay.
This is just a treat. Again, we are going through a really hard time in the whole world, so there's this a sneak preview from RockAlingua to brighten your day.
Okay, so it goes something like this. Cuando pones buena energía, todo alrededor brilla. Vamos a hacer el mundo brillar. Una ayuda pequeña de cada persona en la tierra puede hacer el mundo brillar. Todos compartimos planeta, nos calienta la misma estrella. Todos venimos del mismo lugar, todos iguales, todos diferentes. Qué bonita es la gente en Oriente y Occidente, todos diferentes. Qué bonita es la gente cuando anda sonriente. Sonrisa, sonrisa, reparte alegría. Tu actitud puede cambiar mi día. Todos reímos, todos lloramos. Somos más fuertes cuando vamos de la mano. Something like that.
I cannot whistle. I cannot whistle. I love it. That is so wonderful. I love that song. I can't wait for it to come out. Yeah.
And whatever comes, I try to polish that.
One of my favorite characters in your program is Las Aventuras de Tapón. So cuéntanos about Tapón.
It's yeah, it's like our main character, and he's just like a it's kind of like a fun little guy. He's I guess he's not a very good student, or he's not like he's a little clumsy, doesn't do things perfectly, but he's a really good friend, and he's like a fun person. So I don't know. I think students like it. It's not like the typical like, oh, like everything he does is good, or is normally everything he tries to do goes the wrong way.
Really awesome thing about your program is that not only teachers can have the video that you provide. Let's say if we are teaching our students about the weather, you also provide worksheets, and you have flashcards, and you have a video game, and you have a song. You have all these different resources that you create. Teachers can add to their teaching. How can they use those things?
Mm-hmm. So basically, the way that we think is the best to use the website is like, so each unit has like a song, a video, a worksheet, flashcards, and a set of interactive games. And we're now adding the short stories to every unit. So I always recommend like start with the song, like print the song lyrics and drawings, give copies to your students, go through meaning and through pronunciation with them, try to use like some total physical response for each sentence of the song. So encourage them to like listen and repeat after you and come up with some movement that they're gonna do for each sentence. Once they're familiarized with the song, have them watch the video. They will enjoy the video much better if they already know the song.
Right.
Then once they know the song and video, which basically introduce the basics for that unit, then you can move on to doing the worksheet with them, or having them practice with the interactive games, and then just finish with like the short story. So basically that's the line that we recommend. Start with the song, video, so they know the basics, and then amplify with the worksheet and the interactive games and the flashcards and all that. So that's pretty much how we recommend.
Are you working with Google Classroom? How about RockAlingua? Can teachers bring it to Google Classroom?
We are working on it. Very small team. We don't have any funding. I'm just trying to make it work, which is working okay, but it's still a very small company. We're like 3 people working full time. So we have like a computer programmer, an illustrator that makes all the videos and illustrations, and me. And we're working, so Oscar, our computer programmer, is working to try to do what you were mentioning about the Google Classroom, but it will take us a while to have it ready.
I'm sure it will be soon, because your program is really good, and I think as more teachers know about it and try it, we'll be able to do that. Tell us about prices, like how much does it cost, the membership? And
yeah, so the best thing about our program is that everybody can do a free trial. So you can go to the website, sign up for a free trial. You don't need to enter credit card info or anything, and you can just try it out with your students. The most popular subscription is $179 a year, and that gives access to one teacher and all the students. So if you have like 200 students, that all those 200 students will get access from any computer, tablet, or Chromebook at school and at home. And that's the most popular plan we have. But we also offer like a monthly subscription for like $20 a month for some teachers that might just want to use the program for like 3 or 4 months, or just to make it easier for teachers. And then we have like a Teacher Pro subscription, which allows teachers to create classes, assign tasks to students, and keep track of their work with really cool analytics and all that. And that's $299 a year, but also gives access to all the students. The difference is like the basic subscription, you create like a generic username and password for all of them. And the Teacher Pro, you can assign individual username and password. And that's what allows you later on to assign tasks and keep track of what each of the students are doing.
do you think you will maybe add a higher level or more advanced content in the future?
I'm more comfortable creating resources for beginners than for advanced. So we won't see anytime soon like seeing RockAlingua like doing anything for like Spanish 2, 3 or things like that. We'll keep adding more complicated things, but I think for now we just want to keep it like more for beginners.
You know, what we are experiencing, the COVID-19, I also know that you have been providing free lessons to students during this time. Tell us a little more about that.
So I'm doing 3 classes every week. They're like at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So these classes are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And it's me singing some songs for the kids and explaining some of the, you know, like the worksheets we're doing, or like telling some short stories. I just try to make it like fun. So we don't go in very into detail. Stand up and do some of the songs that is about movement. So I think we're getting really good feedback. So the next class is tomorrow, Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and anybody can access. You don't need a subscription. If you're not receiving the emails because you're not on our email list, you can email us to info@rockalingua.com requesting to add you to our email list so you can get the link to access the classes. But people or students don't even need a subscription to access the class. They're totally free.
Comida favorita.
Comida mexicana.
¿No te gusta la paella?
Me gusta la paella, pero me gusta más el mole, es mi comida favorita.
¿Cuál es tu cantante favorito?
Cantante favorito, me gusta mucho, español, Joaquín Sabina.
¿Tu libro favorito?
Shadow of the Wind, La sombra del viento, es un escritor español, muy buen libro.
¿Tu película favorita?
Película favorita, ahí me pillas. Los Goonies, maybe.
¿Dulce favorito?
Tarta de chocolate.
¿Qué es lo que te gusta hacer en tu tiempo libre?
Hacer surf.
¿Cuál es el lugar más bello que has visitado?
Y a lo mejor Belice.
¿Qué países hispanohablantes has visitado?
México, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Cuba, Puerto Rico.
Tienes que ir a Colombia.
Sí, tengo que ir a Colombia. Tengo muy buenos amigos colombianos y muy buenas amigas colombianas.
Yo soy de Barranquilla, entonces tenemos Barranquilla, Santa Marta y Cartagena. Las ciudades más bonitas.
Y toda la gente me habla muy bien de Colombia y tengo muchas ganas de ir. Sí.
¿Cuál es tu tipo de música favorita?
Rock music.
Favorite quote.
It's actually on our website. Una civilización florece cuando las personas plantan árboles bajo cuya sombra nunca se sentarán.
Wow, that's really good.
Es un proverbio griego. That was really shocked me when I read that the first time, because I don't think that's what people do these days. People just like what is good for them right now, and they don't think about what is gonna be good for everybody for the long term, right? So.
¿Cuál es tu celebración favorita?
Carnaval.
Carnaval. ¿Qué tipo de carnaval? Hay diferentes tipos de carnaval.
Hay uno que es muy divertido en Cádiz, en España. Toda la gente se disfraza y va por la calle toda la noche hasta la mañana.
Other programs that you recommend or?
Yeah, I follow a lot. Friend from Colombia called Carolina has an amazing blog called Fun for Elementary Spanish Teachers. I also follow a lot Mundo de Pepita. I think it's a great program for little kids. Of course, Señor Wooly for high school. It's a really fun program as well. Pues que todo el mundo que no conozca RockAlingua, que vaya a rockalingua.com y que nos conozca. We have Facebook and Instagram.
Muchas gracias.
Perfecto, pues muchísimas gracias, ha sido muy divertido charlar contigo y nada, estamos en contacto.
Seguimos en contacto, César, cuídate, chao.
Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, me voy a dormir.